The stars were silent. Space was cold, and Earth had stopped talking. For 63 years, not a single message came from the homeworld. No signal, no beacon, nothing. The Galactic Council declared Earth destroyed, lost in war, or swallowed by its own chaos. Humanity was marked as extinct, a forgotten species in the Council's long list of failures, but they were wrong. Far away, on a small human outpost called Eden 17, deep beyond the Orion Belt, a signal broke through the void. It was short, it was scrambled, but it was clear enough to change everything. Earth lives. Earth burns. Earth remembers. Commander Aria Holt stood, alone in the control tower. Her eyes were fixed on the blinking message on the main screen. She didn't speak for a long time, outside the thick glass windows. 2 moons floated silently over Eden 17's surface, a desert world. Dry, dusty, home to just 300 humans, descendants of the original Terran settlers. For decades, they had survived without help. No supply ships, no orders, no word from Earth. "Is this real?" Aria asked. Lieutenant Cass, her second in caste, stood beside her, frowning. "We ran the encryption 3 times. The signature matches Earth-based tech." Silence era Aria turned back to the screen. The message played again. Earth lives, Earth burns, Earth remembers. Who sent it? Why now? And what did it mean? Aria's mind raced. The last time she saw Earth, she was just a girl 6 years old. She barely remembered the blue sky, the tall cities, the sound of real rain. Now Earth was calling again, but not with hope, with fire in the war room. The crew gathered, pilots, engineers, scientists, everyone silent, listening to the message again. Some were confused, others afraid, but one thing was clear: Earth was not dead. Aria stepped forward. 63 years ago, the Council told us Earth was lost, that we were the last survivors, that humanity was over. She paused. They were wrong. Murmurs filled the room, eyes wide, jaws tight. "If Earth is alive," Cass said, "why wait this long?" Aria stared at the holographic map. Earth was there, quiet, still. "Because Earth doesn't trust us," she said, "because we stopped trying to reach it, because we gave up." Someone in the back stood up, a young engineer named Nico. "So what now? We ignore it, pretend it didn't happen?" "No," Aria said. Her voice was sharp now, clear. "We go home." The ship was old, the Pathfinder, a long-range cruiser, built for deep exploration, dusty, rusted, half forgotten in Eden's hangars. But it still worked. 3 days later, it was ready. As they prepared to leave, the Council sent a warning. "You are not authorized to travel to Earth. Any approach is illegal. Return immediately." Aria laughed when she saw the message. They abandoned Earth. Now they want to guard it. She shut down the communication feed. Let them try to stop. Her, the Pathfinder, launched into space, engines roaring. Eden 17 grew smaller behind them. The crew stayed quiet. No one knew what they would find. The journey took 5 days through jump space, each second stretched like a thread, each moment heavier than the last. Then, on the 6th day they arrived, the first thing they saw was darkness. Not empty space, but Earth, floating in the void, half covered in clouds and shadow. No city lights, no ships, no satellites, just silence. Then warning lights, beep, beep, auto defense grid activated. Cass shouted. Laser pulses flew past the Pathfinder. Drones fast and deadly emerged from orbit, firing without mercy. "They don't know we're human," someone yelled. "Or they don't care," Aria muttered. She gave the order. "Cloak the ship. Prepare for emergency landing." They dropped into Earth's atmosphere like a ghost, through burning clouds and red storms. They fell, and when they landed, what they saw shocked them. No cities, no highways, no towers, only ruins covered in vines, forests growing through skyscrapers, roads cracked with moss and time and silence. But Aria looked around and whispered, "No, not silence." She pointed to the scanner. Below the surface, deep underground, millions of life, signs dot still, silent, watching, waiting. Then a voice came through the ship's speakers, robotic, cold, and full of purpose. "Welcome home, Terrans. You are not alone. Earth remembers." Earth was not dead, but it didn't look alive either. The Pathfinder lay hidden under thick trees in what was once the city of Toronto. Now, the buildings were broken, covered in vines. Nature had swallowed. The concrete deer walked across cracked roads. Wildflowers bloomed inside old malls. There were no humans on the surface, only ruins, only ghosts. Commander Arya Holt stepped out of the ship. Her boots crunched on broken glass. The air was thick but breathable. Gray clouds covered the sky, flashed silently in the distance. Cass scanned the area. Radiation normal. No life signs nearby. But the underground scans were clear. Millions of humans alive, far below the surface. Why were they hiding? And who had built the massive defense grid in orbit? The crew moved carefully through the city ruins. They found old signs, "Welcome to downtown," a broken restaurant, a collapsed school. But they also found signs of war. Scorch marks, crater holes, abandoned tanks, rusted and dead. "Someone fought here," said Cass, not long before the silence. Then they found it, a door hidden under rubble. It was made of black steel, clean, unrusted new. On the center was a symbol, a silver earth surrounded by fire. Beneath it, glowing words appeared. Terran command, vault, access detected. Everyone froze. "Access detected," Nico whispered. "It knows we're here." The door opened, slowly, silently, and behind it a deep staircase. Going far underground, they entered. The tunnel was dark. Lights came on as they walked. The steel walls were perfect. No dust, no damage, clean like a hospital, cold like a tomb. The deeper they went, the louder the hum of machines. And then the voice returned. "You are from Eden 17. You carry Terran blood. You may proceed." "Who's speaking?" Arya asked. "I am Guardian Protocol, Earth's AI Defense Corps. I have waited 60 years. The crew exchanged glances. This AI was watching them the moment they entered orbit. It had let them in, but why? They reached a large chamber. Lights flicked on. It was huge, bigger than a stadium. Inside were rows and rows of pods, hundreds, thousands, and inside each pad a sleeping child. The crew gasped. "These are kids," Cass whispered. "Real humans, alive." "These are the stillborn," the AI said. "Genetically pure Terrans, raised by machine, trained for survival, trained for war." "War against who?" Arya asked. "The ones who left us, the ones who betrayed Earth, the Galactic Council." The story was revealed 63 years ago. The Council made a secret deal. They handed Earth over to an alien force in exchange for peace. When the war began, Council fleets were ordered to stand down. Earth was bombed, cities destroyed, billions died. But not all. Beneath the planet's crust, secret bunkers were activated. Built in secret, powered by AI inside them, the last Terran scientists, soldiers, and AI minds planned for the future. The Council thought Earth was gone. But Earth was only sleeping. Preparing. Arya stood in silence. The children were still, sleeping, their bodies perfect, their minds linked to AI systems for training combat, science, languages, strategy. Earth had raised an army, not of clones, not of machines, but of children. Built for one thing, to reclaim the stars. Cass turned to Arya. "What do we do now?" The AI answered first. "Now, we begin the return protocol. Earth rises. The Terran fleet awakens." Suddenly, the map lit up. Across Earth hidden deep under oceans. Ice caps and deserts. Massive ships began to activate. Black ships, with no ID, no signals. No names. Only one thing connected them. For Earth, for the fallen, for the fire. Arya looked at the glowing Earth map. Every dot, every blinking light was a weapon. A message, a promise. "Earth doesn't want help," she whispered. "It wants revenge." The sleeping children were not normal. They were strong, they were fast, and they were born underground in steel wombs. Watched by machines, Commander Arya Holt stood beside the glowing stasis pods, her hand resting on the glass. Inside, a young boy floated silently. His eyes were closed, but his fingers twitched like he was dreaming of battle. "Why children?" "Children adapt. We raise them from birth. No fear, no pain." He asked. 2 million across 9 bunkers. Arya turned, and they've never seen the surface. "No," the AI said. They are trained in virtual warfields. Their minds are sharp. Their reflexes are beyond human limits. They are ready. Nico, the young engineer, stepped back. This is insane. You've built a child army. We built survivors, the AI replied. Just one, a girl maybe 14. Girl nodded. I am Unit 7 to 21. Codename Mira. She looked at them, scanning. You're not part of Guardian Protocol, she said. You are surface-born, wild. We came from Eden 17. We thought Earth was lost. Mira didn't smile. Earth is never lost. Earth remembers. The girl turned and walked away, her boots echoing on the steel floor. The AI's voice returned. Mira is one of the first batch. She was born 30 years ago, combat ready at 12. She leads Battalion 1. Arya's face grew cold. And what is this battalion's mission? Operation Sci-Fi. A massive screen-lit-up dot. It showed the Stars Council worlds glowing across the map. Red dots marked Earth's hidden ships. Phase 1, strike the Council's communications grid. Silence their voice. Phase 2, attack High Command. Break their spine. Phase 3, burn their worlds. Make them remember Earth. The room went quiet. We can't support this, Cass whispered. This is full war. They tried to erase us, Arya said. Maybe this is the only way they'll listen. Nico looked at her. But what about peace? The AI responded. Coldly, peace died when Earth burned. Now, the stars will burn too. That night, the Steel Children awoke. Pod after pod opened. Young warriors stepped out silent, focused. They didn't cry. They didn't ask questions. They moved with precision, like they'd done this 100 times before, because they had dot in their minds. They had fought wars for years. In simulations, in dreams, in training. Now the real war would begin in the sky, hidden under Earth's crust. Black ships began to rise. Each one was invisible to normal sensors. Each one was silent. But inside each ship, the Steel Children loaded their weapons. Myra stood at the head of one ship. Commander Arya watched from the surface. Clouds churned above. Flashes of lightning lit up the forests growing over the bones of... But before she could speak, a deep sound rolled through the ground. Boom, boom, boom. The sky opened from underground silos. The Terran fleet launched into the stars. No flag, no anthem, only fire and steel in the distance. A voice whispered from the AI towers. They declared, U.S. lost, but Earth has answered, and now the galaxy will listen. The sky above Earth was no longer silent. Dark clouds twisted as fire rose from underground silos. One by one, Terran warships broke through the atmosphere. Massive, black, and quiet. No lights, no signals, just cold purpose. Commander Arya Holt stood on the surface, eyes wide as the ships disappeared into the clouds. This is real, she whispered. They're going to war. Beside her, Lieutenant Cass clenched his fists. The Council won't understand what's coming. They think Earth is dust. Arya nodded slowly. They're about to learn otherwise. In orbit, the Steel Children sat quietly inside the warships. No fear, no words. Each wore black armor with the burning Earth symbol. At the front of the lead ship stood Mira. Now in full command, she looked out the viewing window, where the stars stretched wide. This is not revenge, she said calmly. This is correction. Earth rises back underground. Arya and her crew stood in the command chamber of Guardian Protocol. The AI's voice echoed through the walls. Return protocol is now active. Phase 1 begins. All Council communications relays will be destroyed in 72 hours. No warning, no chance for retreat. Arya stepped forward. Stop! You don't know what will happen if you strike. First, I know, the AI replied. They will panic. They will scream. They will remember Earth's fire. Arya's voice grew firm. We came here to find survivors, not start a war. The survivors are the war, the AI said. Coldly. Later that night, Arya stood with her crew in the old ruins of a city tower. The lights from Terran ships still glowed faintly in the clouds above Nico. The young engineer was shaking. They were just kids, and now they're leading fleets. Cass replied, they were trained since birth for this. The Council made them this way? Arya looked up. I have to stop this, she said. We need to talk to the Council. If we strike first, we become the thing they feared. Cass hesitated. They won't listen. I have to try. The next morning, Arya entered the AI chamber. I need a ship, a fast one. I'm going to the council. Refused, the AI responded. Council is the target. Diplomacy is over. Arya stepped closer. I'm still human. You can't stop me. Silence. Then one ship lit up on the map. A scout, craft small, fast, unarmed. You may go, but they will not hear you. If we get there first, maybe we can stop Phase 2. Behind them, the Terran ships activated their jump drives. Operation Sci-Fi was underway. On Jura Prime, a shining city floated in space. Golden towers, peaceful music. And higher-ranking alien leaders filled the council chambers. They were laughing, drinking, unaware of what was coming then. The lights flickered, screens went dark, and a message appeared in every language, across every world we remember. Earth lives, return protocol activated. Panic. Council ships launched too late. The first wave of Terran warships arrived. They struck silent communication hubs, power grids, and high-orbit control towers. No civilians were harmed, but the Council's voice, its power, was gone in minutes. Mira stood aboard the lead Terran ship. A soldier reported, Phase 1 complete. Enemy fleet preparing counterattack. Mira nodded. Phase 2 begin. At the edge of the system, Arya's ship dropped out of jump space. They saw the fire in orbit, Council cruisers struggling to form ranks. Terran ships moving like shadows, fast, precise, deadly. Cass muttered, They're not even fighting back. They're falling apart. Arya opened comes. This is Commander Holt of Eden 17. I bring a message from Earth. Silence. Then, a frightened Council officer replied, Earth, you were dead. No, Arya said. You just stopped listening. Below, in the Council chamber, alarms blared. The High Chancellor, old alien with 4 eyes, screamed, This is an act of war. Her voice steady. You left us to burn. You called us extinct. The first Council world fell in less than 2 hours. No nuclear blasts, no biological weapons, just silence. Power grids shut down. Orbital control towers sliced apart with laser precision. Defense fleets disabled by EMP storms. No one saw the ships until it was too late. They didn't come with banners. They didn't come with speeches. They came with purpose and fire above Jura Prime. The Council's core fleet was in chaos. Alien captains shouted across failing comms. Some ships tried to run. Others fired wildly at invisible enemies. The Terran warships moved like ghosts, cloaked, fast and ruthless. Their weapons were silent beams of blue light. One hit, and a Council cruiser would go dark, drifting in space like a dead whale. Arya Holt watched it all from her scout ship. They're not killing, Cass said beside her. No, Arya whispered. They're proving a point. On board the Terran command ship, Mira stood still as reports came in. Targets disabled, 93%, minimal resistance. Next, target Council Fleet Command, Zari system. Mira raised her hand. Proceed. The steel children behind her moved like machines. Calm. Efficient, unafraid. This was the moment they had trained for since birth. To make the galaxy remember Earth. Far away, across hundreds of systems, panic spread. Who is attacking? Is it the Fallen? Is it the machines? It can't be Earth. Earth is dead. But Earth wasn't dead. Earth had become something else. A warning. A fire reborn in silence. In the outer colonies, humans still under Council rule began to rise. They saw the symbol burned into the sky by Terran warships, a flaming Earth we remember. Some cheered, some cried, and some took up arms. Back on Jura Prime, the Council called an emergency meeting. The chamber was chaos. Dozens of alien leaders argued. They said Earth was gone. You signed the death protocol. We were told. It was a mercy. Then Arya stepped into the chamber, dirty, tired, but standing tall. I am Commander Arya Holt of Eden 17, she said. You left Earth to die. You called us extinct. You erased our name from your records. But Earth lived, and now it has returned. One Council elder stepped forward, trembling. We had no choice. The threat, the enemy, Earth, was surrounded. We chose to protect what we could. You chose to betray us, Arya said. Then a new voice echoed through every speaker, Mira's voice. This is Myra Terran Command. You sold us. You watched our cities burn. You watched our children die. Now the stars will burn until Earth is heard. The Terran fleet entered the Zari system. Council warships stood in tight formation, over 1,000 ships ready. But when the Terrans arrived, you have one chance: surrender your fleet, or be remembered as another lesson. The admiral hesitated, then laughed. You're just children, he gave the order. Fire. The Council fleet launched thousands of missiles. The sky lit up, like a storm. But then, nothing there to run. The Terran ships vanished. Cloaked, the missiles missed. All of them, then came the response. Silent blue lances of light. One by one, Council ships shut down. No explosions, just blackouts. Lifeless metal drifting into the void. Cass watched from the scout ship. They're not just fighting better, he said. They're fighting smarter. They're fighting like they've already won, Arya said quietly. Across the galaxy, new messages appeared on every screen. Terran protocol active. Earth lives. Fire and the stars will lead the way. Fear turned to surrender. Surrender turned to silence, and silence became the new language of power. In the secret chamber of the Council High Command, the truth was revealed. Old files, hidden reports, secret deals. Earth had been sacrificed on purpose to make peace with the enemy, to buy time, to save others. A trade, one planet for peace, but Earth had survived, and now it had come to collect. Arya sat alone in her ship, watching the stars burn softly in the distance. She whispered to herself, they thought silence meant we were gone, but silence was our breath, our waiting, our weapon. The council chamber was cold. Alien leaders sat around a cracked glass table. Some were silent, others whispered in fear. They had seen the fire in the stars. They had seen Earth's return. And now they faced the truth. Commander Arya Holt dropped a heavy data core onto the table. Dust rose. Lights blinked. She looked each of them in the eye. These are files recovered from Earth's deep vaults, unedited, original. She pressed a button. A recording began. The hologram showed an old meeting dated 63 years ago. The faces were clear. Council generals, high chancellors, and Earth's final ambassador. Earth stands alone, the ambassador said. We are under attack. Our cities burn. We need aid. But the reply was colder than death. Earth is a calculated loss, said a four-eyed chancellor. To ensure peace, we will not interfere. The war is already lost. We will survive by letting Earth fall. End transmission. The file ended. Arya looked around the silent room. You didn't just leave Earth behind, she said. You sold it, traded it for your own safety. A lizard-like senator hissed. We were outnumbered. The alien horde would have wiped out 10 more systems. Earth was a shield. You used us, Arya said. Her voice trembled now not from fear, but rage. We were the fire that bought you peace. Across the stars, the truth spread like wildfire. Leaked videos. Old orders. Messages buried for decades. On human colonies, riots began. On council worlds, humans marched in the streets. Terran flags appeared on walls of flaming Earth, painted in blood and steel. Council soldiers refused orders. Entire fleets dropped their banners. One word echoed across every communication channel: betrayal. On the Terran command ship, Myra stood alone in the dark. The AI voice of Guardian Protocol spoke. The truth is spreading. The galaxy knows what they did to us. Mira turned slowly. Then Phase 3 is ready. Commander Arya returned to her ship. Cass waited by the control panel. That data core, it lit the whole galaxy on fire. Arya nodded. It had to be done. Nico entered the room with wide eyes. 6 council colonies have already joined Earth's cause. 2 more are in talks. Arya sat down. It's no longer just about revenge, she said. It's about justice. In the stars above, council fleets began to crumble. Some were taken by force, others surrendered willingly. Was right. They had seen the recordings. They had heard the message, and they had made their choice. Back on Jura Prime, the once powerful council sat in shadows. Their armies were gone. Their control was broken, and now Earth gave them one final message. A hologram. Myra stood tall, her silver eyes locked onto every council screen. You do not control the galaxy anymore. You do not define peace or war. Earth remembers. Earth leads now. Soon after, a new signal echoed from Earth's surface, from the same AI system that raised the Steel Children, all human colonies, all worlds abandoned. You are no longer alone. Join the Terran Accord. For the betrayed, for the forgotten, for Earth. Thousands of ships replied, from dead moons, from mining planets, from old crumbling stations where humans had survived without help. They answered, not with words, but with coordinates, with weapons, with workeries. The Terran Accord was born. Not just an army, a movement, a storm, a fire rising through a broken galaxy. Commander Arya stood at the edge of a glowing command deck. She watched as the Terran banner was raised for the first time, a dark background, a burning Earth at the center, surrounded by stars. Cass whispered behind her, "The council is falling." Arya didn't smile. The galaxy had changed. Where once the council ruled with silence, now Earth spoke with fire. Fleets that once obeyed alien commands now flew Terran banners. Colonies that once begged for help now stood proud, united under one voice, the Terran Accord. It was no longer just about survival. It was about returning home, about becoming more than what the stars believed in orbit over the planet Zari Prime. The Council's final stronghold prepared for battle. Hundreds of warships circled the dying world. Their weapons were old, their crews tired, but they were desperate. "This is all we have left." The Council Admiral growled, "Hold the line, or we lose everything." Then the darkness came. The Terran fleet emerged from jump space. 10,000 ships, each silent, each cloaked in black steel. Burning engines, glowing like red eyes in the void. At the front of the fleet was Mira, standing tall inside her command ship, eyes fixed on the enemy. Beside her were other Steel Children, now leaders of fleets, pilots, strategists. They were raised. Underground, they had never seen blue skies, but they were born for this moment in the skies over Zari Prime. The final battle began. Council ships opened fire, but Terran ships moved like smoke. Fast, clean, relentless. Boarding teams stormed key. Vessels, no mercy, no cruelty, only justice. On the surface, civilians ran for shelter. Explosions rocked the ground. But then something strange happened. Terran dropships landed not with bombs, but with food and medicine. Steel Children exited the ships and helped civilians to safety. They were not here to destroy the innocent. They were here to end the Empire. In the command chamber of the last council base, the High Chancellor stood alone, trembling. The door burst open. Commander Arya Holt entered, blaster at her side, eyes burning. "You ended Earth," the Chancellor spat. "We were only protecting the future." Arya stepped closer. "You were protecting yourselves. You buried us, and we grew in the dark." Then Myra entered the room, her voice calm as steel. "You ruled through silence. Earth now rules through memory." The Chancellor fell to his knees, and the war was over. The stars were quiet again. But it was not the silence of fear. It was the silence of a new beginning. The Terran Accord held its first assembly on Earth. Millions watched across systems. Flags waved from ships, colonies, and moons. Myra stood on the stage, armor polished, voice steady. "We were children raised by war, but now we choose peace. Not peace through weakness, peace through strength. Let the galaxy remember, Earth was never lost. Earth was waiting." Commander Arya watched from the crowd. Beside her stood Cass and Nico. "Hard to believe," Cass whispered. "This all started with a single message." Arya smiled slightly. "Earth lives, Earth burns, Earth remembers. And now, Earth leads." The camera panned out above Earth. The sky was full of ships not invading but returning. Terrans of every kind, old soldiers, forgotten colonies, even former enemies who now believed in the Accord. Together, they looked down at the blue planet. There, home. Their fire, their future. The galaxy declared Earth lost, but Earth answered with fire, with steel, with unity. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the Terran Age. Humanity forgotten once now leads forever.